What up, B?
What up, dumb dinglebat?
Starting to get hurt by the names that
Why?
you call me.
Dumb dinglebat? Why would you
Yeah,
be hurt by that?
'cause I'm starting to get a little bit of a complex. You call me dumb all the time.
Here's
Hurts
the
my
deal, dude.
hurts my feelings.
The name of this bit is Dumb Dudes, Deep Thoughts. Okay. I bring the deep thoughts, you bring the dumb dudes portion of it. and and I think we should celebrate that, my friend.
Hmm. Celebrate you calling me dumb dinglebat,
Yeah.
or celebrate
Yeah.
the podcast in general.
All the above, man. I
Hmm.
think we need to be intentional about celebration.
Yeah.
One of the questions that we ask our new members very early, actually part of the intro in the Storehouse Mastermind, is when is the last time you celebrated something that you accomplished? And usually the answer, well, you usually get a blank stare.
Yeah.
Uh, Maybe even a question like, well, what are you talking about? What do you mean? What do you mean celebrate? Like
Yeah.
make a cake? No, man. Just like even acknowledged that you've done something worth celebrating in the recent or distant past. Have you even taken stock of that? Have you taken notice at all? And we're all bad at it, dude. I'm terrible at it.
Yeah.
We all get wrapped into this cycle of beating ourselves up. We focus on, it's like they say, you can have all these accolades and people could tell you how amazing you are and what a great, presentation it was. And you have one person who's like, wow, whatever negative, you stink, you smell bad. That's going to be the thing, dude.
Yeah.
And whether it's relevant to the discussion, whether it's relevant to the accomplishment, it doesn't matter. There's this negative thing, and we really, really focus on it. And I think you have to be very intentional to be like, okay, I'll wear cologne. I don't know what to tell you. Thank you for your input, and then move on and be able to embrace all the positive. But a lot of times, people aren't there. Like, you talk about business, you talk about, say real estate. Like nobody's there to, you got another deal, and they pop confetti and celebrate with you. Like that's not a reality. It's on you to really recognize all the work you're putting into things. And quite the contrary, most people, if they see you have success, what are they going to say? They're going to be like, oh man, that guy's so lucky. as
Yeah.
if as if it was like overnight, right? Like, oh
Right.
man, Jeff Bezos, man, that guy's so lucky. Yeah, no, he didn't not make a profit for years and spent 20 years doing this thing, but now, I mean, overnight success, so
Yeah.
lucky.
Well, and you kind of joked about saying, making a cake to celebrate, but but maybe, right? Like maybe we make a cake to celebrate, and instead of just maybe saying, "Yay, I acknowledge that I had a win," right? Actually do something, like actually perform some type of celebratory action to acknowledge that, hey, I did something awesome. I was actually having a conversation with one of my accountability partners in another group that we're involved in, and he took kind of stock of the last year of his life and like looked back on what goals he had, and he started writing down every single one of his wins that he had accomplished over this last year, and they were a lot. He actually told me he had 17 that he had written down. And same thing, like we talked about, yeah, we never celebrate our wins because, especially with real estate investors. Like when do you celebrate a win in real estate? You really should celebrate it when you buy a deal, right? Like that's probably like when you should celebrate it, but you don't. And then you get tenants in place, or you do a rehab, or or then you sell it and you make some money, but then you take the money and you put it right back into another deal and you do it over and over again, and there's never a chance to really celebrate. But what he did, he acknowledged that he hasn't done that, and he said, "All right, I'm gonna take a jar. I'm gonna take two jars. I'm gonna take one jar and take basically little snippets of paper." He wrote out every single win, and he put those pieces of paper, 17 pieces of paper, into a jar. He took another jar and he sat down with his wife and he was like, "Hey, how can we celebrate all these wins? What can we do? What can we physically do? Should we go out to our favorite restaurant? Should we go for a really nice walk down to the beach that we really like? Should we go, have our friends over for dinner? Should we go to a movie? We haven't done that in a long, long time. So they came up with all these ideas, put those in a separate jar, and then they basically put a schedule together, wrote it out on a calendar, and like every couple of weeks we're going to celebrate a win. And so they would pick one from the win jar, one from the celebrate jar, match them together, and then they go do it. I thought that was really, really cool. Talk about being intentional. Like that's being intentional, right? Like actually going and celebrating a win by making a cake or going out to dinner with your friends, like doing something, right? Because we never do it. We never do it.
Well, yeah, and there's a psychological component to it as well, that
Yeah.
not only do you have to sit down and focus on the wins to write out the list, but then you have to focus on the things that you, in this case, that he wants to do with his bride, to be intentional with celebrating. And that also, that's got a couple, that's multifaceted. It's a date night. They get to spend time together. It's intentional to celebrate the specific thing, but then they could talk about the other goals they have, the accomplishments they've done, how proud they are to each other. Like it's the intentionality is, it just begets intentionality, right? And the celebration enables you just to go deeper and deeper and build a relationship while also, it's different. I know what I love about that, they're celebrating together, they're invested in each other, beyond their marriage, but also in the business. They're supportive. They're able to, just go to another level. And again, it's very intentional. My wife and I on our date day had a conversation about, something similar in the vein of what we desire and how do we support and celebrate each other. And it was born on the context of it, and really the catalyst of the conversation was, I have recently had a ton of conversations with men specifically that their marriage is just like they're roommates,
Yeah.
especially if they have kids, and they've fallen into that. You don't go into that. It's not like, okay, marriage, honeymoon, and now we're roommates. Like it takes time to get into that, just that mediocrity and non-growth. So when you're intentional about these types of things and you tie a relational element to it, like I love that, dude. Super creative, but also a lot of fun. Like
Yeah.
that's a lot of fun. And you're with your spouse, and these guys have been married forever, right? This
Yep.
is someone that we're going to have on a podcast that have been married for
Correct.
like 40 years.
40 plus years. Yeah. Yeah.
That's just being intentional about rekindling and dating and continue to grow deeper. And I love that.
And think about
But
think
it,
about doing that with your kids too, like celebrating
right.
wins with your kids and see like how they react to that. And I mean, that could also be super fun.
It's true. And I think the point of it is, it started on this conversation started on the premise of specifically celebrating, taking stock of and celebrating the great things that you've done, whatever those are, because you have done those. And if you haven't, then that should also be the motivation to dig deeper and be like, okay, do I have goals? Well, I don't even have goals. Well, how can I celebrate? How will I even know what to celebrate? Because I don't even have goals. I've not even, developed the level of self-awareness to be where to understand where I want to be. So that in and of itself is an extremely beneficial exercise. So you set the groundwork and the foundation for the successes. You celebrate the successes and acknowledge them. And then there's a huge element of gratitude. Like you should be grateful for those successes. Because as much as you want to give yourself credit for all those successes, I'm pretty positive, like to 100% certainty, that you didn't do it on your own.
No.
Whatever it is, that there was someone was helping you, someone was enabling the process. Maybe it was even, you could chalk it up as a blessing, something that would have never happened without divine intervention. I mean, whatever it is. And then you can also develop a spirit and an attitude of gratitude that also continues to push your game and refines it. And so all of this from a simple question of, hey man, hey woman, when's the last time that you celebrated? And the question is not just, hey, when is the last time you celebrated, right? The question has so many layers that when we start to go down that path, man, it's rich, and
Yeah,
and to be able to do that with somebody else is really special too.
for sure. For sure. So don't be dumb.
But shout.
Celebrate some wins. Go be deep. Make a cake. Go out to eat. Give somebody high fives.
Build a cake.
Make a cake.
Build a cake. Hey, you know what? I think I might start. That just prompted like a level of, I think a next level intentional game. I think I need to find occasion just to make a random cake.
Mm.
And when the kids come home, like there's a cake, like a birthday cake, but not birthday, and be like, hey, kids, today we're celebrating this thing. I think I'm going to do that, dude. I like that
Good.
idea.
You're welcome.
Some varsity level junk right there.
Dude, I'm not that dumb. I'm not that dumb.
Debatable. Debatable. Maybe it's debatably dumb dudes. Debatably dumb dudes. Add another D to that. Debatably dumb dudes. Deep thoughts.
All right, we gotta end this.
All right, you're done.
Now we're just
Be
rambling.
deep. Peace.
See you.